Cheers, guys. Epyx911, welcome to the Sunday, June 25th, 2017 edition of VR News. Before we jump into the news, I want to talk about a game called Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. This is a Steam game. It's currently on sale. It's not a VR game, but I know in the discussions we've had here over the last few months, I've had lots of people asking me for recommendations on games, and this is one that came up frequently. So I thought it would be a good thing to just mention that it's on sale, 60% off. So basically $20 US, you get a modern turn-based RPG that at least 80 to 100 plus hours of gameplay. All right, let's jump into the news and talk about another virtual reality audio story. We go weeks, you don't hear anything, and then we get 2 back-to-back days. This one is to do with a research project that took place at the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. And back in 2012, 2013, the cathedral was celebrating its 850th anniversary. There was an opera performance of La Vierge, which is the Virgin, and that was recorded. So what these researchers have done is they've taken that footage, applied VR and spatial audio to make this what they're calling ghostly orchestra. And they're going to unveil this at an event. This is the Acoustic 17 Boston, which is a gathering of European and American acoustic organizations. They're going to present that there. And I like a wide range of music. I've said that. There's stuff I like more than others, but it's pretty wide ranging. Maybe just one genre that I'm not a huge fan of. But even stuff like opera music, or even if it's more cathedral kind of based, I can still appreciate that. For example, there's a group called The 16, and they've got a song that they do, and it's a famous operatic song called Miserere Mea Deus, and it's about 12 to 14 minutes long, but especially when the soprano sings her part, it's freaking amazing. I get goosebumps whenever I hear it, and it's that type of music I love to have in the background if I'm doing historical reading, research, etc. So check that out with this in mind, and you should get a good idea of what they're trying to capture here. And I understand it's not going to be for everybody. Fair enough. Different strokes for different folks, or it would be a pretty damn boring world. All right. And just a quick update for the Captoglove. We've talked about this thing at least 3 times before. The latest update was at E3. And according to Upload VR's, one of the writers, Charles Singletary, you would have got the impression from him that the glove didn't track well. Well, he's updating the article with some clarification, and here's what he has to say about that. To clarify further what got my bearings with the glove means, I initially was thinking of the Captoglove's input the wrong way. I moved in wide, sweeping moves as if using a large joystick. I realized that the movements weren't really met with great degrees of input, and realized that the glove itself wasn't being tracked by anything outside the glove. So I adjusted my strategy, keeping my arm in the same place, but turning and tilting with my wrist in more controlled motions, and that got a much better and accurate response in the game. And that's an important distinction, because absolutely you could walk away thinking it doesn't track well, when in fact it does. You've just got to work with that specific input device. So if this is something that you had your eye on, there you go. All right. Viewer Jawa64, he pointed me in the direction of a piece of software I haven't talked about for a very long time, VRTK, who have their latest release of their software. And the software is basically a set of scripts and concepts to aid in VR solutions for Unity 3D, specifically Unity 3D 5+. And some of the solutions that it covers: locomotion within virtual space, interaction, so touching, grabbing, using, interacting with UI elements, physics within virtual space, and then all kinds of controls, buttons, levers, doors, etc. So very cool. If you're a developer with Unity and you're into virtual reality stuff, well, then you probably know about this already. But if you're just starting with, tinkering around in there, at least you know now that this tool set is available. All right. Next up, Samsung's new flagship building. We talked about the press conference. It was almost 7-8 weeks ago now, but we didn't mention the facility itself. So this building that Samsung has in New York is pretty damn impressive. Impressive because you see the word store mentioned, but you can't really actually buy anything there. It's basically almost like an exhibition of Samsung products and technology. There's lots of cool virtual reality stuff on display. One thing that they're calling the VR tunnel, which I think is really cool. And what it does is users basically give the software running the VR tunnel access to their Instagram feed. And then it populates with sight, sounds, the whole tunnel blasted with a timeline of updates. And you're basically walking through your own history. I guess it depends on how much you use the software, right? If you're a heavy user, that could be pretty trippy. Seeing, months and months of activity being projected all around you. So what's more interesting to me personally is some of the virtual reality rides and things that they have available there. Don't know the next time I'm going to be in New York City, but hopefully it's within the next year or two. And if it is, definitely something I'm going to check out. All right. And then next up, Adobe announcing today acquisition of Mettle Skybox. Mettle, M-E-T-T-L-E. They are, or rather it is a popular suite of editing tools for 360-degree content, VR footage, and Adobe plans on taking that and adding it to the Creative Cloud. If you check out the link in the description below, they give a couple of different scenarios. If you're somebody who's already part of the Creative Cloud, or you're a new member, or an existing Mettle Skybox users, what are the ramifications for each of those people? How do they get access to this set of tools? So pretty strategic move from Adobe. Definitely makes sense. We'll see where it goes. And then the last story, guys, Spider-Man Homecoming, the VR experience we talked about a few weeks ago as coming. Well, announced today that it is going to be free via PlayStation VR June 30th. They don't say if it's a one-day only thing, if it's forever. I'm going to dig into that a little bit more, but as part of the promotion, come Friday, June 30th, they are releasing this for free, at least on that day. So if you have PlayStation VR and you like Spider-Man like I do, check it out. Be there on that Friday so you can download that content. All right, guys, that is it for the Sunday edition. I have a PlayStation VR quick look coming up, as well as a 1 year later series of videos dealing with the various VR products. Guys, as always, cheers.